Sam Logue and Johnny Stapleton here. Delighted to be joined by Deirdre Gogarty at the press conference for Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron here in Dublin Castle. Deirdre, I suppose we'll turn to you and just say welcome back to Ireland. You must be absolutely delighted to be here and for such a big occasion as well.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant, amazing. Just a great way to come home to see this happening and to be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that there's a big fundraiser going on to get a statue built in your name in Deirde. What does that make you feel? You must be really, I'm losing, I don't have the words for it at the moment, but you must be very touched by that sentiment that Ciarán McIver is trying to set up here.
Oh, absolutely, because the statue would be the ultimate recognition, and I really haven't got any national recognition in Ireland. I mean, other than the Epic Museum, there's nothing here. So to have that statue, I feel like people really finally understand what I've accomplished and what I left behind.
Would that have not annoyed, maybe peeved you a little bit that people didn't realise everything you'd achieved and particularly all you had to do to get to where you were?
Yeah, I mean, I got to the point where I was really quite low about it and
really?
A bit angry, really. It's not that, I was delighted for women for what they're accomplishing now, but you can't forget the groundwork that was done before, because it was nothing glamorous or fun or about it. Like I said, every fighter wants to do the fighting in the ring. It's all the fighting we had to do out of the ring that was so hard.
And can you tell us, like, some of the, just even for people that might know, some of the fighting you had to do?
Well, I mean, it was all the pushback, and it was always a reason, like even just trying to get an exhibition center.
Yeah.
There was always a pushback, and it was always this thing, women, they might get breast cancer if they box, they might damage their ovaries if they box, they might be unstable on their menstrual cycle if they box. There's all these kind of silly, a boxer takes a risk going in a ring, and just a male boxer knows they're risking something. It's just the same with any athlete. You're risking yourself, and if you want to do it, why should anybody stop you?
Yeah, that's true. And then with that, then when you do start to get your recognition, does it allow you to sort of sit back and enjoy Katie now, or what's happening now?
Yeah, well, I feel part of it. Like, I really feel, I know if Ciarán hadn't come along and pushed all this, I'd be out in the nosebleed section watching this fight and nobody'd even know I was there.
Yeah.
So to feel part of it makes me feel appreciated and recognized.
And even just then, like, moving forward, you can probably enjoy the sport more, and you can.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's a healing. It's healing me to see that the women today. I mean, of course, they're going through difficulties and heartbreaks like you do in any sport, but it's healing my heartbreaks that at least they're getting the opportunities and the big stage and the recognition and the compensation they deserve.
And do you take then pride in I've noticed since this fight's been announced, Katie has been talking about yourself and just like what an inspiration you were to her, and like people say Katie's inspiration to the younger kids coming through today, but like she holds you in that high regard, and you're that person for her.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling. It really is, because when I met her when she was so young, and I could see the passion in her, and I really wanted her to stick with it and keep trying, because she could have easily done any other sport.
Yeah.
And just to see that she kept going, she had that drive and carried it to this level, it's really gratifying.
Yeah. And when you met her that young, did you see that sort of someone special, or did you think she could bring it this far?
No, I could tell. Yeah. I could tell she had that gleam in her eye. I recognized that same kind of quietness, but that that strength in her, and I just hoped she'd go through all the hard part to get to where women would be allowed to box, because I knew once women were allowed to box amateur, then it would take off.
Yeah.
Because most people just can't go through all the difficulties, having go straight into the pros, fund your own career, work a full-time job, trying to get fights, trying to get yourself out there. I mean, back then, really, boxing magazines didn't even want to cover women. You got a little column in the corner. It's like they were embarrassed to even have to write about it.
Well, that must be hugely frustrating, wasn't it?
And then of course once I fought Kirsty Martin, that kind of broke open.
Yeah, but you still have frustration, so that like goes down as like the greatest woman fight of all time. It's probably the one that's supposed to. I remember Jerry Callan always talked about it. about one that like just changed everyone's perceptions, but there were still struggles again after that. Didn't break.
Yeah, it wasn't plain sailing. You know, there's still a lot of barriers to be broken down. I mean, that fight was in 1996, and women couldn't box here till 2001.
Yeah.
You know, and by then I had a really bad shoulder injury, and I actually wrote letters and applied for a license here, and got no response whatsoever. So I'm still waiting on my license to come in. You know.
And does part of you now want to sort of stick two fingers up to those people, or do you?
Yeah, like, you know, it's like now they want to. It's almost like, I guess nobody wants to admit that they were part of the crowd that pushed back against that. You know, I kind of let them off the hook by saying, well, maybe they're trying to protect the sport, maybe they think it's undignified, but really it was just. They didn't want to deal with women and didn't want to give them the chance to kind of get in and do well, you know.
But now we're here, and as
now
you can
of
see them
course,
taking
now,
down everything
yeah,
here.
now,
Like
you know, there's
not
no
hot.
question.
Yeah.
There's no question anymore. So
At the time, did you know that was a possibility that like they
I
can't see on
knew
the camera
it
with
was.
like posters of Katie here like that?
yeah,
People-
absolutely. I knew it. Well, I knew once women got the chance, they'd go out there and prove they can fight men. So yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant. And then just on this fight the weekend, like just your own personal opinion, like how you think it's going to go?
Well, of course, I think Katie's such a well-rounded fighter and so smart and disciplined. I just think she's, you know, got that little skill level above. But I mean, it's a very hard, difficult fight, and I know she can't let Cameron get too physical with her. She's going to have to box very well, but she can do it.
Do you think she'll hold that discipline?
I know she likes to get sucked into a fight of it, but I know she's better than me. I always got sucked into a fight because I love to fight, but she's got that footwork and discipline to stay out of the fight and just box, so I think she'll do it.
Would you be nervous watching it?
Well, I'm not now. I'm really excited, but yeah, I probably will be when it actually is going on. I'll probably have my heart in my mouth, yeah.
I think we all will.
I'm interested just to pull back a little bit, Deirdre, if you don't mind, and touch back on something you said there about having to kind of work a full-time job and kind of struggle to try and get fights and do all that work. What was that like for you? Like, what kind of stuff were you having to do at the time? You know, what was your life like when you were working and trying to get fights and trying to campaign to be allowed to fight and let fight? And can you talk us through that a bit?
It was very difficult. I mean, like I said, I just wanted to get in the ring and fight. I felt once I got the chance to show I could fight, that it would just kind of flow from there. But it kind of everything was a battle, you know. It was just very difficult. Luckily, my coach and manager, Bo Williford, he was great about really pushing me and promoting me and really getting me out there. And but it still wasn't easy, and the money wasn't there at all. So I had to work a full-time job. You know, run in the morning, cycle to work all day, cycle to the gym, spar, cycle home. I mean, it was a non-stop just working and you know, trying to get the fights. And sometimes I'd go months and months and months and no sign of a fight. Oh, that was really hard. So, and there was many fights that I trained for that fell through. Like I probably trained for 3 times the amount of fights I actually ended up fighting. So when you have to get yourself up to train hard for every fight, knowing it may not happen, it's pretty wearing. So
you must have some mental resolve to be able to continuously do that.
Yeah, definitely.
All the while feeling underappreciated for what you're actually producing as well.
Yeah, Bish, and you know, it's great when you win the world title and everything, and you think, you know, life is made, but I didn't get paid for that, and I had to go back to my day job, and that was pretty demeaning, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of came out of boxing with a little bit of less love for it, like I had, but this love was starting to come back, because instead of thinking of how it all ended, I go back to how it all started when I had that excitement and passion about it.
Absolutely. Can events like this and your involvement, say this weekend with Kieran and the Legacy Committee, can that open up new doors for you in terms of, you know, your a new kind of involvement in boxing, kind of all these years removed?
Yeah, I think so, because it it reintroduces me, and people realize what I was and what I accomplished. You know, when you're always trying to tell people who you are and what you've done, it gets kind of exhausting. And it's like how long do you have to keep trying to promote yourself and push yourself? I mean, all the hard work should be done by now.
Yeah,
so
it's like after the
this
fact,
feels like
yeah.
all the hard work is done, and now I'm kind of finally getting the recognition for it.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing I want to ask you about is, we know that you met with Katie this morning, right?
Right, yeah.
How did that go, and what was that experience like? I presume that's the first time you've seen her in quite a while, would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, last time I saw her was after the 2012 Olympics, and I went and worked pads with her. But it was great just to see her again, and it just takes me back to when she was a young girl and she came to my house, and was asking about boxing and how to get fights and kind of what to do, and I really felt that same position she was in, so we have that kind of really understanding of each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to finish by just saying, like, this week we've been very grateful to Katie Taylor, just because it's been so long since anything like this has happened in Ireland. So, and Katie's brought it all back. But there's no Katie without you, so just to express our gratitude towards you and what the fight you had.
Thank you, really appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Deirdre. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it, and we appreciate your time
Appreciate
today.
your time as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, and I hope
really
you
appreciate it.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy the rest of your stay and the fight
Yeah.
on Saturday, and God
And,
willing, we'll get it.
fundraiser tomorrow as well.
Yeah,
the
and hopefully
fundraiser
next
tomorrow.
time I'll be back, there'll be a statue going up.
Hopefully.
There will.
Well, if Kieran behind the camera has any work to do, it's that. That's his responsibility.
He'll sculpt
Yeah.
a bit of rock
I'll
himself.
just put my wages this
Right.
week.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
yeah,
for
thank
coming.
you,
Talking
thank
about
you.